My name is Erin Mahone, and I'm really happy to be here with you today as part of this awesome women's empowerment event. As you can see, I'm in a bit of a strange location. I'm in the theater where I work, and this is the prop closet. This is kind of my happy place, the place where I can think, the place where it's quiet. So this is where I'm talking to you today. I'm an author, a storyteller, teaching artist, coach, producer, and advocate. I help people make peace with the stories of their lives by writing and telling those stories out loud and reframing what we tell ourselves is possible for our lives. The thing that I've learned through my life and through all of this experience is that we hide. Since time immemorial, people have been sent a message that they have to pretend to be something different than they actually are, because emotions and deviations and differences make some people uncomfortable. So we hide. Until a few years ago, I kept the circumstances of my life and family largely to myself. I wouldn't say it was a secret that my grandfather had schizophrenia, that my mother has bipolar disorder, or that I live with anxiety. But I also didn't go around, announcing that from the rooftops, because that's just not what you did. Then one day I was driving home from work in my car, all by myself, and I said out loud, alone in my car, "Why the hell not?" From that moment, my life changed forever. I decided to stop hiding. I decided to stop pretending that I know what the hell I'm doing, and to just be honest, that life is hard. And I'm just showing up every day, putting all that I have out into the world. Sometimes that's enough, and other times it isn't. Since that day in my car, and every day since, I have committed to becoming an advocate for mental health, mindfulness, and the development of a more compassionate and self-aware human race. Just a few small goals for me to tackle on my day off. Through the course of writing my one-woman show, It Runs in the Family, which chronicles my family experiences with significant mental health diagnosis, the completion of my first book, which is going to be released this year by Motivational Press, If You Could See Me, Life, Motherhood, and the Pursuit of Sanity. I have heard from hundreds of people, both strangers and those I've known for years, thanking me for coming forward with my story. Thank you for making me feel like it's okay to talk about my anxiety, they've told me. It's so nice to know that I'm not alone and that I don't have to be ashamed to talk about my mother's mental illness, others have said. There is no end to the power that comes from feeling safe to come out of the shadows. When we stop hiding, that honesty is a gift we can give to other people. But most of all, it's a gift we give to ourselves. We're free. Shame and fear no longer hang overhead, influencing our choices. And it's never too late to make this choice. I recently spearheaded a new project in which I convened a group of amazing adults, all living with a mental health diagnosis, including myself. And we produced a portrait exhibit with an incredible photographer based here in Richmond, Virginia, which is where I live. His name is Dean Whitbeck. Each participant performed a story that we worked on over the course of several months at the live gallery opening. We all talked about our lived experiences with our mental health diagnosis. For me, it's anxiety. For others, it was bipolar disorder, agoraphobia, major depression, PTSD. In a room full of family, friends, and strangers, these people of all different backgrounds, life experiences, ages, races, and professions shared a single truth with the world. If you could see me, you would know that I live with a mental illness. This is a challenge in my life, but it does not define my existence, and I do not accept any limitations the world puts on me as a result of this diagnosis. I have no reason to hide anymore. 7 people shared that sentiment in 7 deeply individual ways. Through the course of this journey from silence to proud oversharer, I have found my voice. It has been the single most terrifying, exhilarating, overwhelming, purposeful thing I have ever done, except for parenthood. In a world that's fractured, divided, and people are often blind to the circumstances of those they don't know or understand, it is more important than ever, I think, for us to tell our stories. It's through this type of unifying act that we can begin to heal the wounds caused by hiding and misunderstanding. I'm a wife, a mother of 3, an author, storyteller, coach, teaching artist, and producer. I live with a hypothyroid disorder, anxiety, and depression. My upbringing was less than perfect, and my youth and young adulthood were filled with misinformed choices made from a place of pain and fear. I wanted to approach my life from a place of love, from a place of yes. Telling these stories has not only been my path to emotional wellness, peace, and forgiveness. It's empowered me to take control over my physical health and to see that if I can control my personal narrative, then I can also make healthier choices in other aspects of my life. There's a lot we don't have power over, but when we discover where we can maintain some control, it's pretty incredible. I work with groups and individuals, helping people learn to tell their stories. Through these projects, workshops, sessions, and live events, we learn some very useful and practical skills that I would like to share with you today. 1, practical skills, first of all. We write complete stories about a circumstance in our lives, or an idea about ourselves that's been limiting, and we turn it around. It's important to know how to construct a story with a unique voice, direction, and thread. That's a practical skill. That's an important thing for us to know. If we get a little healing in the process, then that is a really incredible added bonus. We learn or polish the skills needed for successful dynamic storytelling. Public speaking is the #1 fear expressed by people. It's listed above like being burned alive. Finding the power to speak your truth, the truth of your experiences out loud is uplifting, but it's also incredibly practical to master the fear of public speaking, especially if you want to be a speaker, a salesperson, you have something that you want to sell, a product, or if you just want to be in the public in some particular specific way. 3, and probably most importantly, is that we get comfortable pushing through fear and self-doubt in order to discover what we're made of. That's probably the #1 lesson that I've learned through all of this, is that the first time I stood up in front of, 150 of my closest friends and a whole bunch of total strangers, and told the story of my life and my upbringing and my family and what all that meant for me, was about as terrifying as anything I've ever done. And when I got to the end, I realized that I could do anything. Through writing and storytelling, we focus on identifying aspects of self and experiences that we tend to frame negatively. Using intention and mindful self-compassion, one of the greatest skills a person can ever learn, we can reframe the way that we tell the stories about our lives to ourselves and to the world. There's nothing more powerful than standing up and speaking your truth. When you do this, you realize a couple of very important things. You're not alone. Your story can inspire others. There was never any reason for you to hide to begin with. You can be free from the chains of fear and shame. You are allowed to like yourself. You're allowed to be proud of yourself. You are allowed to have the life that you envision for yourself, even if it scares the hell out of you. That's probably my favorite. I'd like to end today with one of my favorite quotes from the guru of self-acceptance, Brené Brown. She says, "You can either walk inside your story and own it, or you can stand outside of it and hustle for your worthiness." Hustle for your worthiness. That is an incredible use of the English language. I think we'd all like to stop hustling for our worthiness and start living our best possible existence on this earth. I encourage you to join me on this journey. If you are so moved, please visit my website, www.ifyoucouldseeme.com. Click on the Share Your Story tab at the top of the page and tell me what "If You Could See Me" means to you. Tell me how you would like to reframe your personal narrative. I would love the opportunity to talk more with you about how to make that happen. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoy all the presentations today.